Chelsea won, Arsenal won. Whose fans are happier? Which current Arsenal player and a Chelsea ex-player wasn't on his best behavior in this game? Which position will be a good result for Chelsea this season? And what does to fight for every blade of grass mean? Hello and welcome to the TFGP. What's that? Of course, it's the Footglish podcast, an English learning podcast about football. And my name is Zdenek Lucas. You have heard that before, of course. And you've also heard before that I'm an English teacher and your host. And every host needs a guest. And today's guest is a returning guest. And he's also an English teacher. His name is, of course, Marvin. Welcome back.
Thank you, brother. Happy to be back again. Thanks for having me back on, my friend.
Happy to have you back. Happy to be your checkmate.
Well, let's check it out.
Yeah, we did that a lot before the show. Before we started the show, you came up with all these funny Czech-related words which exist in the English language.
Yes,
all right. Sorry.
No, I was saying it's a lot of fun. I love these jokes. Hopefully no one gets offended.
Well, you are British. You guys love the pun, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. But some of you also seem to love the football club called Chelsea. You are one of those people.
Yes, brother. The greatest club in the world. London's only European champions ×2.
I beg to differ. You wouldn't expect anything else, would you?
No, not really, brother.
Yes, as an Arsenal fan. And I think it makes perfect sense to have you here this week because, of course, our teams played in a game at the weekend. It was a Sunday game, I believe, or was it a Saturday game?
Sunday.
That was on Sunday, wasn't it? You see, my memory, I have a memory of a goldfish. So anyway, the game ended in a draw. I don't know how about you, but me as an Arsenal fan, I will take it because, in my opinion, you are improving. You're gradually getting better and better. It's not the same Chelsea as last year, and we also didn't beat you, I believe, last year.
You too.
So, right. So I will take it. How about yourself, though?
Yeah, actually, I mean, this is one of the very first seasons as a fan where I think because I always expect that we should win every game and all the trophies. I always think we need to have that as our goal, so we shouldn't be taking, draws. But judging by the last couple of dreadful seasons that we've had to deal with due to terrible coaching, terrible everything, this season I think is a completely different story. I'm very happy, and this draw actually placed us in the top 3, so you can't really be too angry. It's one of our targets. I think we're not going to be able to win the league. So, well, you never know, but I don't think we can. So if we can get the top 4 and another trophy, I will be very happy. So in this case, I'm very pleased and I'm proud of the effort because they fought for every blade of grass. They put a really good effort in, and we had a great goal as well to show for it. And plus, Kai Havertz was crying, so it's all good.
Yeah, Kai Havertz, the ex Chelsea player, he got a bad cut, didn't he, or something? He was blood. There was blood all over him.
That I was watching, they cut that out. So I'd seen him go down, whatever, but I didn't see the blood. I just saw him come back with a bandage on his head. But lucky he wasn't seriously injured.
Is this why he was crying? Well, hang on, something isn't adding up here.
He started being disrespectful by putting the shush motion after scoring the goal. So, he got what he deserved in this regard, especially as we are the club that gave him the Champions League and he will never win anything again. So really, he should be thinking about that before disrespecting the
We got a lot of Chelsea rejects, but I have to say, I would say this Kai Havertz is one of the best, and we did not expect it at all. It came out of nowhere. The fans were very skeptical when he was coming in, but he has been great. Thank you.
To be honest, I didn't really have a problem with him so much. It was in the final season he was pretty awful, but in general, I mean, he was not so bad. And the problem we had with him, there was never really a true position that he has. like he's not really a striker. He's not. So then what is he? Does he play off the right? I know he prefers to go off the right side, but difficult to kind of put him in the right place. And I think as our team was changing, there wasn't really that place for him anymore. But I liked him for the kind of first 2 seasons he was there. He played a role in some great success. Had he himself been a bit more respectful of it, I would have wished him well. It's not an ex-player that I generally dislike. I mean, I've disliked people a lot higher on the list than him. But, happens. And now he's playing for another team. So let's see.
Yeah, we are very happy for him. And I think we credit to Arteta for finding a spot for him as well and kind of making it work. And I think he's a great player for like link-up play. And personally, I'm happy with his contribution. Obviously, we are going through a small crisis. We had a few players injured. Now they're coming back for this game. Against you, we had our captain finally made an appearance, Martin Odegaard, and he's a difference maker in our team. Obviously, he will need more games to be more match fit, but glad to have him back. But in the grand scheme of things, considering we've had a couple of bad results, in my opinion, this is not. Obviously, we would have wished to win as well, but it's all right. We did okay. If you look at the stats, Marvin, it seems like an even game, possession-wise, in terms of the number of shots. The only thing that's sort of struck me is the number of offsides, and you can try to explain it to me if there is some logic behind it, but we had 7 offsides and you only had 1.
It's one of our tactical plays. They said before the game that Arsenal were very good at set pieces. So, and actually can really kill you on set pieces. So I think it's something that Enzo Maresca and Bernardo Cueva worked on to try and catch you offside. I think quite a few of the offsides were actually from set piece moves, weren't they?
Yeah.
So I think that played a role in it because you've got some good physically dominating players in that box. And I think that's a source. I would have to check the stats on that, but I think that's a good source of a lot of your goals. So I think it was maybe a tactic that we employed during the game.
Yeah, but these days we are not scoring that much,
Okay.
But at the beginning of the season, we were quite good. We were up there, but then our form didn't last, And we look at Liverpool now; they have been the most consistent team. We could argue that they have played a lot of those easier games, and that they will have a tougher run in.
Well,
but it's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. They have done an incredible job under their new manager, especially considering that everybody thought that after Klopp, what comes after Klopp? Darkness, right? Like what happened to United, Alex Ferguson, darkness, right?
Absolutely.
So it's hard. Even it happened at Arsenal, kind of as well. So
I think consistent is the word to use. Yeah. I think we played them. They didn't look special, but they still won. So I think, and you've got to win. You win enough of those big games against the other top 6, and it was going to put you in that kind of, that position. They're clear now. They've got a nice run. I think we normally know more about it by the time December comes. End of December, we'll see the shape a bit more, I think.
Early days, yeah. And we have to mention, honorable mention, to Manchester City. Something is going on there as well, right?
Well, they still
I don't know how about you, but I'm not entirely unhappy about this situation, if I'm completely honest.
I feel a bit differently. I'm okay with them because they stop all of our rivals from winning the title. So every year they stop Liverpool, they stop Arsenal, they stop Man United.
This is what everyone says, Marvin. I don't know. This is the mentality. I don't know if it's right. It's what Tottenham fans say. There was a game, wasn't it? They wanted to lose that game because,
I think it's the lesser of two evils in this sense because we don't really have a rivalry with them. And maybe because they're blue as well, we might see them a little bit against the red cartel. So, at least in my case, I don't have enough dislike towards them to really want them to lose badly. I just don't want them to win the Champions League to catch our record, our number. That's pretty much it. But in general, I don't really, when they play, if they win or if they lose, I don't really feel anything.
This is is this a British fans thing? This Schadenfreude idea that you feel great if the other team loses. I get it. Listen to me, I get it.
Yes.
But at the same time, sometimes it seems to me, okay, now you may think something different. It seems to me sometimes it's getting into people's heads too much, and the focus
Yes.
is wrong. The focus should be on supporting your team and your team winning at, under any
Yes,
circumstances. So
it is. I mean, I don't care that much if the other team's losing and my team is winning. In fact, I don't even think about it. But if my team is not winning, my second team, everyone but Man United, I always
right
behind them.
It's your instinct that kicks in. It's your solace.
Yeah, I think there is a tribalistic thing that your rivals, if you can't win, your rivals can't win. Like it's definitely
at least that, yeah. It's a silver lining. It's the silver lining.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I understand. Yeah, I get it. Okay then. So what can I ask you about? Well, we are neck and neck now in the league, aren't we?
Yeah.
Are you fourth or third?
Third. No, we're third.
You're third, so you have a better goal difference compared to us, and we are fourth with exactly the same number of points.
Yeah.
And but then there's like, if you look at the teams behind us, I think there's like 4 or 5 teams who are just 1 point behind us. We are just 1 point.
All the way down to Brentford with 16. So it's actually
crazy.
3 points. It's very.
It's madness. So anything could happen there. And top 4 will be really a fierce battle. I mean, with the way things are going at Manchester City right now as well. And trust me, there will be a blip that Liverpool, they will be undergoing some bad times as well. I think they will. So,
yeah, I'm interested. It's definitely close, but that's one reason why I was okay with the result. When I saw that we would be third, it's kind of you'd be willing to take it. So I mean, I think in parts of the game we had it really well, but I think in the final 10 minutes we kind of exploded, and Arsenal looked much better. So in the end, you see an even game, and it's decided on those small moments, unfortunately. And those little small moments have cost us the wins that we haven't gotten this season. We've missed a chance at the end at Crystal Palace. We've not put away the chances against Man City. The same thing against Liverpool. And in this game, maybe no. I think in this game, we had the chance with Gusto that he probably should have scored, but then you had the chance at the end that you should have scored. So in this game, I would say that 1-1 was fair, and you can't really argue too much. You saw the F. There's no players in my team anymore that I have a strong kind of wish to get rid of them. And there was a moment, I always think if you don't win, you've got to have a moment to celebrate. You've got to have this really moment. And we had it. I was watching with my son because everyone else had gone out. And my son didn't pay that much attention. But we were losing. We were 1 down. And I was kind of feeling like... And then Pedro Neto cuts in and he smashes that goal in. And I'm so happy. I'm jumping around the room and my son is jumping with me. And it was nice to have that moment, So it made the game fun, enjoyable, and the result wasn't bad. So at this point, I will take that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some kind of pun that you could use, because Neto, it's a nice name. In the back of the netto or something. The ball was in the back. Is there something you could come up with?
Scandinavian for value.
He netto it in or something like that.
Well, I mean, well, even you couldn't even say it was a net-o, could you? Because there'll be 1-1, so there was a net 0 result.
Okay.
I mean, it was a good game, and it's one of those. It wasn't like the game that we played against Newcastle that we lost in the cup that made me furious. First time I've been furious this season. This was a good game, and I felt that we played well, and there were players like Caicedo in there and Lavia, and I think players that really gave you a good Neto, and everyone really in together. And I love that. And even in your team, I said there were 2 players that that stand out to me that I do kind of like, and I think that they deserve.
Who are they?
One of them is Martinelli. And I know he doesn't score a huge amount of goals, but I love that he takes players on and he tries to get to that line and get the ball across goal. I think those kind of players are undervalued. And I think he's a really...
To be honest, I thought he wasn't that good at the beginning of the season. Trossard was often starting instead of him. There was something was going on with him. But if you even look at the Brazilian national team, a lot of Brazilian players seem to be underperforming. Lucas Paqueta of all players at West Ham United, which is another team I watch a lot. So something going on with Brazil. Even if you look, you are very close there, right? You are in Mexico right now. You're living in Mexico, so you probably occasionally take a look at the qualification, at the South American qualification. And Brazil, where are they in the table?
They're struggling. I think they were in the middle somewhere, fifth or sixth or something. The last time I checked it, maybe it's just something in Brazilian football they're kind of going through. But we've got the best young superstar coming next season, Estevao, and he's going to go and play on our wing. And at the moment,
Estevao. Escobar.
Well, yeah, he's definitely going to be picking up the success for us and transporting it over. So, but I'm excited for. I mean, the thing is with the team this year, you can see there's a clear identity of how Chelsea plays, and I think it makes us better for that. Whereas last season, it was every time carnage. We'd have a 4-4 with Man City, like, wow, we outplayed the best team. And the next game we go lose 4-1. And there was no identity. You were watching these games of what's happening. It was playing underperforming players every single game. I don't see that happening here at the moment, and that makes me happy.
I can't say I'm happy, but I mean, you're a friend, so I suppose I am in a way. No, I mean, it's good. It's good to have these rivals playing well, and if you beat them, then it feels even better, right? So I'll take it. One thing I have to tell you is that I went to a game, Ukraine against the Czech Republic. I went to Wrocław, it was in Poland. It's in Poland, and I saw Miguel Mudryk live. So I thought of you. I thought of you when I did. Yeah, he took a lot of corner kicks from. I was in that corner, kind of. There was like an ultras stand, and I was there, so I saw him from very close range. And every time I did, I thought of you because obviously he's a Chelsea player. Yeah, so
I like him. I think he's one of those guys you've got to give time because his final ball is really good. He has a bit of hit and miss moments, but if you look, he didn't have a huge amount of experience before playing at Chelsea. So no, I like him. I would be willing to keep giving him time.
He has a long-term contract at Chelsea as well, like some kind of an incredible number of years, like 10-year contract or something like that. 7.
He's been there crazy for nearly 2, so it's probably about 6 now, I'd imagine. Those contracts, I mean, everyone is doing those now. We were just the first ones to do it. I think it protects the player and the team in many ways, and you can amortize the value, can't you, across time? So if the FFP things are so crazy, you can stretch it across a certain amount of time.
I don't understand the FFP rules, so I mean, as long as you think you are doing the right thing, I believe you are doing the right thing.
I think probably most of the teams are. I don't think you can really get away with it, right? And that's why I guess you see lots of random things coming up with Everton and some of the other teams that probably you can't really get away with it nowadays. And probably you never could. Probably some maybe fake endorsements to look into and stuff as well, perhaps.
Okay, Marvin, before I let you go, let me ask you about your prediction as to where Chelsea can end this season. Are you able to get to top 4 at least, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. We will need to have a nice run of wins against the smaller teams that should be coming up soon because we haven't played Ipswich, Leicester.
Be careful.
Well, yeah,
anyone can beat anyone. What happened to Tottenham is absolutely hilarious. I have to mention it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Ipswich play well. The Ipswich do play well. The only thing that happens to them, they can't keep it up.
Wait. Tottenham have been really great this season. I enjoy watching them. Their manager is great. That's coming from an Arsenal fan. But what happened the last 2 games is absolutely hilarious. Yeah. So I think it was Crystal Palace winless. They hadn't won a game yet, and they beat Tottenham. And then the next week, Ipswich hadn't won a game yet, and they beat Tottenham. So Tottenham lost against 2 teams that hadn't won a game.
They don't do any defending is the problem for them. They've only got one way that they stick to, and it's easy to prepare against. I think that Ipswich play well every game. But the problem is that in that 70 to 90-minute split, their energy, something happens to them. You notice that they lose games always in the final 10 minutes. So just something for them. But they're nice. They play well. I like the coaching style. I hope they keep it going. But I think when we start to play, this is where it's going to determine what we do. Because last season, in some of the big games, we actually did quite well in some of them. But in the games against the small teams, we struggled. So it's dependent. I mean, we got Everton, we've not played. Ipswich, we've not played. Southampton, we've not played. And Leicester, we've not played. Now, if we can get 5 wins out of that, then we will be in that battle for the top. I think we can make top 4. I think anything between 3 and 4, we will finish.
Yeah. Well, I think this season the league won't be won by a record number of points. That's just my prediction. It seems like
not.
A lot of points are going to be dropped. And honestly, I'm quite curious about it, and it makes the league more exciting. And I have to say, this episode with you, Marvin, also very exciting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me, Zdenek.
For your cameo, and hopefully I will be able to see you here again, and we will discuss Chelsea together.
Let's do it, my bro. Great game. See you in the next one, my friend.
Yeah. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye. Welcome back to the Language Corner. Yes, it's that part of the show that some of you really like, while others don't like so much. It's like Donald Trump. The Language Corner divides the world, doesn't it? But it's here to stay, because I have to showcase my teaching skills. I have to show you what I can do, right? Otherwise, this wouldn't be an English learning podcast. It would only be a generic podcast about football. And I didn't set out in that kind of way. I didn't set out with that in mind, right? I want to combine learning English with football. That's what's happening here. So today I've got a couple of phrases for you, a few idioms. I think there's a phrasal verb there. I can't remember exactly, but it's all ready to go. Let's get started, shall we? Okay. I said I couldn't remember when the Chelsea-Arsenal game was played, which was at that point true. I didn't know whether it was on Saturday or Sunday. And then I added, I have a memory of a goldfish. If you have a memory of a goldfish, then you don't remember very well. Your memory is not working or doesn't work, right? So next time you cannot remember something, just say, I have a memory of a goldfish. Yeah. For example, if you take the IELTS exam and suddenly a word, you forget a word, then you can say something like, what's the word I'm looking for? And then add, I have a memory of a goldfish. It's going to make the examiner laugh. And basically you will turn this disadvantage of forgetting what to say into an advantage, because you will end up using an idiom for which you will get some points, I'm sure. Right. Then Marvin was talking about Chelsea, and he said they fought for every blade of grass, so I can't complain. So he was talking about Chelsea and the performance of the Chelsea players, and he said they fought, fought is the past tense from fight. They fought for every blade of grass. A blade of grass, it's like if you think of grass, right? And then every individual piece of grass, it's like that long kind of, what is it? It's not a leaf, it's a blade. We call it a blade of grass, really. Yes, so if you fight for every blade of grass, you fight with a lot of effort. You are determined, to win. You are very competitive, especially in a challenging situation. So this basically implies that you give everything you have on the pitch, right? You give it everything. You have 100% commitment. And this is a very nice phrase. I hope I will be able to use it myself in the future, because sometimes when I have my guests on the podcast, I realize that some of the phrases they use, I don't use enough myself in my daily life and in my English lessons with the football people I teach. That's right, I teach about 5 people from the football industry right now. And let me tell you this, for me as an English teacher, these are one of the most enjoyable lessons. Why? Well, because we chat about football the whole time. Okay? Then I said that this, I was talking about the draw we had with Chelsea, and then I added, we have had a few bad results, but in the grand scheme of things, I will take this draw, right? So I was sort of okay with the result, even though obviously I would have wanted Arsenal to win, but in the grand scheme of things, I'll take this draw. In the grand scheme of things basically means considering everything, right? So if you put a result into a context, then I suppose a draw is fine, right? If you consider the whole sort of context, right? In this case, it's the fact that Arsenal have lost a lot of games recently, so I suppose a draw after losing games is an improvement, right? Okay. Then I spoke about Liverpool and the fact that they are going to have a tougher run-in soon. A run-in. What's a run-in? A tough run-in? An easy run-in? Yeah, it's a series of matches, right? So if it's a tough run-in, then it means that your team is going to face a few difficult opponents in a row, right? You've got a few matches with difficult opponents. If you have a really tough run-in would be playing Manchester City, Manchester United, who else? Tottenham, for example, right? That would be a tough run-in. Okay, we are neck and neck now in the league. Chelsea third. Chelsea are in the third place, and Arsenal are in the fourth place. And the only difference is the goal difference. So if you are neck and neck with someone, right? So Arsenal are neck and neck with Chelsea. Neck and neck. It means you are even in a race, in a competition, right? So you're running, if two marathon runners are basically running next to each other. That means neck and neck. And in the football context, obviously, if two teams have the same number of points, then we could say these two teams are neck and neck. Right. Now, here comes the phrasal verb. Martin was talking... Martin? No. His name is Marvin, not Martin. Marvin was talking about his team, and he said, those little small moments have cost us that we haven't got this season. What? Is that what really Marvin said? Those little... Maybe I'm misquoting it because I wrote it down in the wrong way. In that case, I apologize. But basically, what he was trying to say is that small moments cost his team several wins this season, right? And then he added, we haven't put away chances against Man City, right? I want to focus on put away chances. Put away is a phrasal verb. And if you don't put away a chance or chances, it means you fail to score, right? If you put away a chance, you successfully score a goal. If you have an opportunity and you put away that opportunity or that chance, it means that you score, right? So to put away a chance. And finally, I said, Marvin, thanks very much for your cameo. Maybe you haven't heard the word cameo before. A cameo is a small but noticeable part in a film, TV program, a play, and I suppose you could use it for sports as well. It's a small part that someone plays. I said a small part because I thought that interview was quite short, considering how long some of my interviews are. But I used the word cameo. I meant appearance, Marvin's appearance on the podcast. I was thanking him for his appearance on the podcast. All right. Well, I guess that will be it for this week's Footglish podcast. Thank you very much for listening. And don't forget to subscribe to the Footglish podcast if you haven't done so already. You are always welcome to be a subscriber of the Footglish podcast, whether it is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, or on my channel, on my YouTube channel, Teacher Zdenek. Okay, guys, take care and see you soon.